Welcome one and all to Primetime Mitch, and it's the monthly review, and obviously February is shorter. I haven't had a chance to watch as many movies as last month. It was 16 in January, it's 11 in February, so this top 5 becomes a top 3. If you want to know what came before this, from 11 to 4, just go to my Instagram and TikTok, you'll find that list there, and you can see the countdown to this top 3, but it's all about this top 3 now. Once you've hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell, and give me that wonderful support, please sit back comfortably, because here is number 3 for February. Coming in at number 3 was an early screener I got the opportunity to watch at the Odeon, and that is Send Help. Sam Raimi directed comedy, horror, thriller, if you like, starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. This has a combination of a variety of different movies and plots and series. Like, you've got Lost in there, you've got Misery in there, you've got Castaway in there. You've even got maybe M. Night Shyamalan's Old in there as well, certainly for the setting. But I was not massively enthusiastic about watching this movie. That's why I hadn't watched it before I went to the mystery screener, because I wasn't so sure I was going to be a massive fan of it. If it's going to be a horror, I like to be really scared. I want to be gripped. I want it to be gritty. If I want to watch a comedy horror, I've got to be in the mood for it. So I went to this mystery screener with an open mind, and what I did like was you knew this was a Sam Raimi movie right from the off. It is so visual and grim. He loves those gross moments, and they're there right from the beginning. You know, Rachel McAdams is very much dulled down in this. You know, she's eating in the office and she's got like food on her face and everything like that. And I just thought this is going to get a lot worse as it goes on. I think he likes to hit those nerves in people, and why not? He's been doing that since Evil Dead. Obviously, the premise, you know from the trailer, is this lady in the office who is not very well liked by the rest of her peers, and certainly not by her new boss. She is on a trip on a plane, and the plane comes down, and the only people left on the island are Rachel McAdams' character Linda and her boss Bradley. And it's sort of that reverse role. Bradley is injured and has to recover, and Linda is looking after him. She is a survival nut, so she knows exactly what to do on this island. And you get this comedy of circumstance where the reverse roles kind of brings out the more vicious side in Linda, and you see the cowardly, terrified, not so confident, cocky boss that Bradley was back on land as he tries to sort of reason with her and exist with her. This was loads more fun than I expected it to be. There's still that great visual Raimi stuff, like I said, the gross out moments, the gnarly moments. There's a bit of CGI in there with a certain beast attack, which I thought probably would have been great if it had been practical, but I can let it slide because the actual movie itself is well written. Dylan O'Brien in particular I thought was very, very funny in this, and Rachel McAdams is just absolutely balls to the wall in this. She really goes for it. I think that there's some elements of the movie I probably would have changed. I thought I was kind of going, oh, not sure about that on a couple of occasions, certainly involving Bradley's fiance. But the ending is quite satisfying as well. I'm not sure if I absolutely agree it was the right ending, but again, it's not one that infuriates me or does any damage to the experience. I've given it a 3.5 on Letterboxd, I think. It's not by no means an absolute masterpiece, but what it absolutely is a really good time. So I urge you to see Send Help if you have the chance. And if you like Drag Me to Hell and movies that he's done like this in the past, you're going to love this one. In at number 2 is going to be the recently watched and long overdue watched Together, Michael Shanks' feature-length directorial debut, and I was really impressed with this. Again, I didn't see this, much like Send Help, I didn't see this as much of a horror. It was more a romance, a drama, possibly bordering on thriller, but with a lot of body horror in there. There are some creepy moments at night, there's some creepy shots, but I do think overall this is more about the romance and about the almost tragedy of these two people. Played very well by Alison Brie and Dave Franco, real life couple, and you can tell as well because they really have the chemistry required to carry a movie like this. It's damn near a two-hander. They are featured so heavily. There is not very many other characters other than at the establishment in the beginning, and you also have the headmaster of the school that Millie has been assigned to, and he is quite a pivotal figure in this movie. But their work makes this worth watching. They are such a believable couple. Even if they weren't, you can tell this is acted very, very well. The body horror really does hit as well. It has a feeling, again, I'm going to mention him again, this is twice now, but it has a feeling of like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, this. It's very much the sort of origin stories, theories of nature, that kind of thing. And it's very, very good when it comes to the practicals. It's very, very good when it comes to the situation where you have Millie and Tim, and they are not having a great time in the relationship. They've had a bit of a failed proposal at the start, and they head out to this countryside, small village to start a new life. And Millie has obviously becomes a teacher, like I said, and they start suffering problems. Tim starts feeling magnetically pulled towards Millie, and then you have an ensuing tale of romance, drama, and quite nasty horror at times. There is some really good scenes in here of comedy sprinkled in. I quite liked the post-electric saw scene where they were sat eating and just quite casual about everything. I thought that was well cut. It was minimal as well. You didn't see a whole lot of gore, but you saw enough to make your skin creep, particularly towards the end. They really save all the best stuff for the third act. I also really like the ending in this movie as well. The only reason this one hasn't made top spot is it didn't actually blow me away. I was just like, yeah, that was really good. And I would absolutely urge you to watch it. Don't go in expecting a full-on horror. Don't go in expecting a full-on comedy. That's the problem. People go in with not open minds now. They go in with expectations. Again, didn't watch the trailer for this and was all the better for it. Check out Together. Very good movie. And coming in at number one is the biggest shock I think I've had since I started doing this. I've picked some bizarre movies in the top fives and top threes, and in the top ones, if you looked at last month's review and saw what came number one, you'd have had quite a surprise. You certainly probably would not have seen it at all. But this one is one I expected to be terrible. I thought I was going to see a Hallmark movie. I ended up seeing one which I thought was a real triumph, and that is 2019's 90 Feet from Home. This is a story that follows a man who had a traumatic childhood with his abusive stepfather who treated him terribly. His brother was given more preferential treatment than him, and he was almost chosen to be the one that took the wrath of the stepfather, and his mother was powerless to stop it. And you follow him into his adult life when things have very much changed, but he has never really gotten over that, and he comes back for some kind of vengeance for what happened to him as a kid and what happened to his family. This is one of those movies that just pops up out of nowhere. I am a wrestling fan, as you might know, certainly more wrestling of the yesteryear and how it should be. It's never really done much for me in my life in recent years, but I really appreciate when you get a movie that involves a wrestler and they knock it out the park. And I'm pleased to say that I believe Shawn Michaels' performance in this movie is probably one of the best I've seen from an actual pro wrestler that isn't an actor on the big screen. He plays Jimmy Devine, the abusive stepfather of Scott, who is the protagonist of this film. And you see this amazing development where he is the most loathsome, vile, bottom of the barrel scumbag asshole you've ever seen in the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this movie. And then in the second half, though you don't really have any sympathy for his situation or what he's gotten himself into, he somehow manages to make you feel sorry for him. I couldn't believe the way this movie panned out. I think the performances are solid. It's a little bit clunky at the start. You get the feeling it might go in the direction that I said, where it would look like a low-budget Hallmark movie, but it actually really picks up. And I think on second viewing, it was actually better. Tom Hallam is very, very good as Tommy Conway. I'd like to see more of what he's done. There's a very random appearance from Eric Roberts in this. He's not in it for very long, and I'm curious as to what made him take the role. Could have gone to anybody, really. This journey makes you think. It makes you make decisions. It makes you wonder whether each character's motives are right, whether you can sympathize or whether you think they've gone too far, whether you think that in your own situation, what decisions you would make. It makes you think, and that's what this film did for me. And I couldn't take my eyes off it. And I think it is a real hidden gem. I get there might be people out there that don't like it. Maybe they think it is a bit stiff at the beginning and it never really lets up on that. but I think the more this movie goes on, the better it gets. There is one scene sort of towards the end which I think divides people from what I've read online for the reviews. And by the way, this is not that heavily reviewed online. There's not a lot about it, and I can't understand why. But there is a scene in there where you either are still on board it or you think it derails the movie. I don't think it derails it. It certainly takes it in a different direction. But overall, this is the movie that really made me ponder and got me as invested more than any other movie this month. I was very surprised. 90 Feet from Home is from 2019. It's directed by Brett Bentman. Please go and have a look at it. I found it on Plex, I believe. I'm going to be buying this physical media as a keepsake very soon, but please watch it. Please let me know what you think if you have seen it, and I'm very curious to know whether I'm on my own here, but it's definitely my number one because it got the most out of me. Thanks, guys. What do you think of my February picks? And that goes for the 11 to 4 on social media as well. Do you agree with my pick? Do you agree with my top 3? Is there anything you've watched this month that you'd like to tell me about? Put your list down below. I want to know what everybody's watched. It can be from any era. As you've seen, I've gone from 1939 through to just a few years ago. You could have watched anything. Let me know what it is. And thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button and also the subscribe button if you're new here, and the notification bell for more videos in the future. There'll be another one for March, obviously, at the end of this month. But for now, have a good day, everybody. Stay safe. I'll catch you later.